Hello, everybody. Welcome to Port Media Open Studios. I'm Mary Jacobson, and I'm happy today to welcome Doreen Olson here. Doreen's company is Savory Insights. She does coaching on building positive brand impressions and expressions, and she's also one of the co-chairs of this year's Newburyport Kitchen Tour, which is coming up soon. It's happening Saturday, May 13th. Doreen, welcome and thank you for coming for an interview about the kitchen tour today.
Thank you, Mary. Yes, we've moved it to be the day before Mother's Day.
And well, that seems appropriate somehow, doesn't it? A good way to celebrate.
The people that attend, are people that are, they're looking for an event, and a lot of them are foodies. They love design, and not everybody's looking for a kitchen renovation, but they're looking for a really nice experience, a nice and unique way and day in Newburyport. And we see a lot of pairs of mothers and daughters and aunts, but several years back we added a beer tasting to the tour, and then also a wine tasting, and our numbers went up significantly because our men companions, and our significant others all said, "I'll come too."
Something for everyone.
There really is. There really is.
Well, Doreen, tell us something about the history, the origin story of the Newburyport Kitchen Tour, how long it's been going on, how it got organized.
The first year was actually when Newburyport had independent schools, so it was a fundraiser for the Brown School, and it primarily, I was not involved then, but I'm hearing this secondhand by people that ran it then. It's been running for 21 years, but in that first, second, and third year, I believe it was a Brown School fundraiser, and primarily in the South End, specifically for that school. Yeah. And then when the schools blended to become, a united, one school was for elementary, another school was for middle school, and another was upper elementary. That brought together a new PTO. A broader PTO group, and broader home selection. So now we have homes in the greater Newburyport area. We do have them in Newbury and Plum Island and even Point Shore, Amesbury in some years. However, this year we are able to keep it in Newburyport proper, in the South End, in the West End, in the North End. Yeah, so we have a lot of different areas really represented, and a mixture of homes that are just phenomenal.
Well, you bring us to my next question I wanted to ask you about, which are, tell us some of the highlights of this year's tour. What can people look forward to? And don't forget to talk about the snacks.
The snacks. Yes. Well, this is a tour that requires almost 100 people on the day of the tour, and the planning starts almost a year in advance. So next year we have, I think, 8 homes secured for next year's tour already. And there's a lot that goes into it. We have teams of people that come in to help. Somebody focused on volunteers, somebody else focused on locating homes, somebody else focused on staging homes, locating food donors, and advertising and sponsorship solicitation team. And each year it grows. And this year, I think, has been the best yet, with a lot of hands helping in a very organized fashion, and really a lot of momentum behind it. So the early sponsors, when I mentioned earlier about Brown School, our founding sponsor, Dolores Person, she owns William Ravis Realty in Newburyport on Federal Street, and she saw the people at the time kind of color Xeroxing the booklets for the tour, and she said, "Why don't you get a sponsor? I'll be that sponsor."
Oh, wonderful.
To have these beautiful tour booklets. And these tour booklets, we decided to make it's basically the ticket to the tour. Yeah. So our tour goers show this upon entry at every location. So this year we have 10 homes. It's the largest in New England.
Oh, really? Oh, that's impressive. And a lot of
really
work.
It is, but when we have many hands involved, it's
Yes.
much easier. And we're still building on that. It's so fun. We count on our design community to help us. So
Yeah.
we'll reach out to the various designers and ask if they have homes. But we are also contacted by homeowners themselves that
Oh,
said,
wonderful.
you know, we just moved into the region. We want to meet people, and we love the renovation that we've done. And
Well,
it really brings everybody
sounds
together.
like such a wonderful community-wide bonding event
Yeah.
that brings a lot of different people together. So I give you lots of credit for that. Now, what's the range of different styles of kitchens and homes for this year?
Some I would call charming, some I would call luxurious, some I would call, you know, bringing the outdoors in. So we have a Victorian, we have Greek Revival represented, we have a modern day farmhouse, we have homes that have shifted from what they were to what they are, which the designers will show the befores and afters of those homes, and
Oh, interesting.
and others. We have them in all sorts of different neighborhoods as well. So one question that some people will ask is it walkable? And this year's tour, I would say, is bikeable but not walkable. You know, everything, all the homes are within 3 to 4 miles of one another. But if you want to keep that pace of moving through the tour in 2.5 to 3 hours, you know, yeah.
Okay. So mostly walkable, but maybe a little bit of driving. But,
Yeah, I do
but
call it a
core.
driving tour, but yes, and there is parking. You know, we've done a lot of planning and work in the booklets to have a map. You know,
Wonderful.
and the map this year also includes public bathrooms, which is important
Brilliant.
because we have people coming
Because
from
that's a long time.
well, and some people arrive. They're coming from
Yeah.
Portland. They're coming
Right.
from Providence. They're discovering Newburyport through our eyes, you know.
Right.
And then we also include parking instructions on, you know, each of the write-ups. So each home gets a dedicated write-up.
Wonderful.
With those parking instructions and all. Mary, you mentioned about food.
The snacks, I think.
Oh
are
my
important to
goodness. So let me
clarify.
just put this up and maybe some people can see. I'm going to cover me right here. And because food is very important. And Sandra, our team, she has dedicated herself to focusing on food donations, and all of these people, again, I'll show you all of these people. We have meatballs coming from Giuseppe's. We have wine coming from Leary's. Newburyport Brewing Company is featuring a beer tasting. We have the Cookie Jar Kitchen, which is a new business in town, and Figtree Kitchen will have their Dino Bites, you know, and
Those are famous.
those are, and I know, you know, they will be moving their location at some point from Liberty Street over to be partnered with Chococoa,
yes.
and which is, you know,
A marriage
just
made in heaven.
it really is. All of these, you know, the partnerships that we make with the kitchen tour, they're incredibly supportive. Our ticket sellers are becoming known as ticket sellers, you know, and so we have about 5 locations throughout town that if you bought tickets online, you can go in, you can redeem and get your booklets early.
Wonderful.
We're also going to be selling right outside of Olive's Bakehouse and Coffee Shop on Friday.
Wonderful.
And so for anybody that's coming through on Friday, you know, they can be prepared and ready for their tour. It's also, we work with our media partners as well, North Shore Magazine, and some, and New England Home will also be giving free magazines at some of
great.
the locations.
Wonderful.
So, yeah. So if we don't have food at a location, I want you to look for the magazines because there are beautiful, beautiful magazines to enjoy, and they're complimentary.
Wonderful. Well, so many treats, visual and sensory, artistic. It just
Yeah.
sounds like something for everybody.
Yeah,
as you
no,
said.
there's a lot of visual
So,
stimulation. One
yeah.
particular home is a farmhouse, really a modern day farmhouse, which looks out onto the Atkinson Common and brings the outdoors in.
Oh,
and it's just
wonderful.
like, so when we think about artwork can go beyond the scope of what's on the wall and
Yeah.
outside of the window, the landscaping and
Absolutely.
everything. Yeah.
How intriguing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, all of this happens for a good cause.
Yes.
So let's talk about, because it is a fundraiser, so tell us who the funds go to and how they benefit Newburyport.
So all of the funds go to the Newburyport PTO, and the funds are focused really on pre-K through 8th grade activities, as well as the field trips and such. So the PTO, the funds from the PTO cover field trips, cover really enhancement programs, both STEM related, culturally related. Sometimes it's a community event where we're bringing in a day of festivities for the youth, and really bringing the parent community together with our business community. And so it is a holistic approach. And we raise significant funds every year. We're raising almost $100,000 that are
Wow, that's
very much
impressive.
needed. Yeah.
Yeah, because the things that you just described, they're important aspects of education, but they're not
Yeah.
necessarily things that the school budget per se can include. So you're really enhancing and broadening the education of
Yeah.
kids through 8th grade, which is a wonderful thing to do.
And when you run a kitchen tour and tasting, there are expenses that need to happen.
Yeah.
There are booklets. We also have, these flyers that are around town, and the flyers even allow people to be able to purchase, right?
Oh, how
going right
convenient.
onto the QR code.
From your smartphone.
Purchase online. Exactly. We have various signs in the locations as well. And so we're really trying to make it easy. But here's what I'm excited about. Because we have such strong sponsorship and the advertising that, is very much, important to smaller and larger businesses, having like these different advertisements, full page, half page, quarter, the business card size, and the sponsorship. What that means to us is that any of the printing that's done is really something that's already paid for. So the funds
Wonderful.
from the tickets are really going entirely, they're going to the PTO,
Yeah,
which
to
funds
benefit
everything
education.
for
That's
the
really
kids.
wonderful. I'm glad you pointed that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the PTO, I found them to be incredibly welcoming. It's like, it's almost run like a business, and it's a business that you want to be part of, because there's so many different
That's great.
fundraisers and activities and just community events that they really do a beautiful job with.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, I have a curiosity that I want to ask you about. People love the kitchen tour. People love to see other people's kitchens. And I'm curious to find out, why do you think that's so? What is it that people find so engaging
Yeah.
about visiting other people's kitchens?
Well, this community really is a community that we are. We're walking throughout these neighborhoods all the
Yeah,
time,
it's
right?
true.
But it's a very much an outdoor community. So, and we have plenty of places to visit. So, we can meet here, we can meet downtown for a coffee, we can meet different places, and I really believe it's almost like this tour is like an adult scavenger hunt. Like, you truly never know. You are greeted by somebody at the door. One of our volunteers will greet you and say, "Welcome, come in and see this." And they're excited about something. They've learned about the history of the home, whether new or old, and they've really studied up on the details. They know the colors of the walls.
Interesting.
And that's a big thing that I feel like in our homes, especially, in the recent years where we've spent so much time in our homes, even a wall color discovery as you're walking through a tour is like, that can change everything for you.
Yeah.
And the tickets are really reasonable. They're $30 in advance of the day. They move to $35 for those of us that like to wait and understand what the weather is going to be that day. We run it rain or shine. And but to answer your question, the curiosity factor of seeing how other people are living, I think what we're really looking for is a little piece of ourselves in that home and what we can do next, you know, and it may be simply the color. It may not even be the kitchen. It may be the bathroom color or wallpaper that you happen to see as you walk through, you know, because there are some rooms that we ribbon off, you know, that are kind of, you can peek in only, and
there need to be some boundaries.
We're expecting roughly 1,000 people, maybe more. We have the capacity for more to move through these homes, and it's a wonderful experience. Even our local police, you know, they're advised of the locations in advance. They watch the flow of traffic for us, and they're right there laughing with us, you know, about like, look at this amazing whatever, you know, and the other thing that is like a secret surprise is that in many of these homes, we're entering through the front door, but we're exiting through the back door. So we're exiting through a porch or a patio or a backyard, and that's often where we will be hosting our food or hosting our drink samples. Wonderful. And we have coffee on board this year too, Plum Island Coffee.
Wonderful. Truly something
helping
for
us.
everyone. Something for everyone and more. Many things for everyone.
So there's, I think you said it best, Mary, like, you know, the dimensional aspect, the high sensory aspect of like, it's not just colors and textures, but it's how you feel in the home. And
absolutely.
Our home docents, our volunteers are so wonderful about welcoming people in. I had a homeowner, she owns one of the Italianates in town, and she said it was such an experience for her to walk into her own home and feel like a guest in her own home with people loving on her home, you know, so and could share the excitement. And of course it was all the space that she had, you know, designed and chosen herself. And
well, it sounds very exciting, very fun, and incredibly well planned. And so please, as a final question, Doreen, just review, there's many ways people can get tickets. And if people have questions, they're looking for more information about the tour, just where can they go?
First and foremost, I would direct people to our Newburyport kitchentour.com website. On that website, you can purchase tickets. On that website, you can also click to volunteer, and that'll add you to our email database, which I'm personally very excited because this allows the PTO to reach out to you for any of these wonderful activities for our youngsters. So I know myself, my children are a little older, and so it still keeps me very much involved in academia and growth and beautiful things. So NewburyportKitchenTour.com, first and foremost. Secondly, our Facebook page, which is also NewburyportKitchenTour.com. We are selling tickets at the Newburyport Lighting Company, at Chococoa, at Buttermilk Baking, which we've also listed on our flyer here. And so maybe I can hold that up a little bit closer. And so there's New Kitchen on Pleasant Street that's selling tickets for us. I mentioned Buttermilk Baking Company, I believe. At the other end of town, B&G Cabinets. And William Ravis, and I think I've covered all of them, yes. And the day of, we will also be selling tickets right outside of the William Ravis Realty office at 12 Federal Street. One thing I should mention, I did mention, didn't I, about the bathrooms?
You did mention it, but it's one of those things that people may not admit they're concerned about, but everybody is.
It is the number one question we get that day.
They're on the map.
Yes, they're on the map, both on the map indicated and also, you know, as they would be called by GPS. So, and I would really like to thank all of our partners, you know, especially our sponsors of William Ravis, of the Institution for Savings, who really live by their motto to, you know, really influence and help their community, and North Shore Magazine.
Right.
So yeah, they've been with us for years, and we couldn't do it without them. The last thing that I would share with you is we are looking for 24 more volunteers.
All right.
And what's exciting about that is that you do get a free tour ticket, so you'll have one of these for a morning shift, or donating your time for the morning shift or for the afternoon shift. And Mary, you see everyone there. I hope I get to see you there. And you see everyone in town there, business owners, and, our local celebrities, so to speak. And it's just a wonderful reunion. People that you haven't seen in years will suddenly appear, and you'll have that wonderful conversation.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So.
Well, Doreen, you're a magnificent spokesperson for the Newburyport
you.
Kitchen Tour.
Thank
and
you.
I thank you very much for taking time to come and visit Open Studios and teach us about the tour and its many wonders and the important purpose that the fundraising serves. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Yes,
It's been
thank you
fun
for
to talk
having
to you
me.
about
Oh
it.
my goodness, I love your energy. I love your expression.
Oh, thank you so much, Doreen. Well, that's it for today, everybody. You know where to look. The website is easy to remember, everybody. It's newburyportkitchentour.com. There you go. Check it out.